How old was she? 23. And she was a veteran? Like, she was already a detective before that, and... Yeah, I mean, she was already a detective at 18, I guess? Okay, and then a veteran at 23? Interesting. Diego Armando, hotshot lawyer, senior and rival of the office, a bit smug. Hey, look at that face. Oh my god, let's look at that face. A genius, only 20. Still new, everybody's new, it's so interesting. Anyway, back to the game. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there? Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Returning to the scene of the crime, how nostalgic. So I don't know, I feel like if that's his brother and that's her sister, then we can have them both in the future with their siblings. And we got Mia's sibling, too. That'd be cool. And Edgeworth can come back, and Franziska can show up, and... I don't know. They're adoptive siblings, so there's that, too. And give Phoenix a brother. Just let Phoenix adopt Furio Tigre as his brother. Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, don't move. We got you surrounded. Wow, good for you. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on a desk about it. If only I'd noticed it earlier. I honestly don't know if since this case, like, traumatized Mia and shit, or what happened after it, I honestly don't know if we are gonna actually reach a conclusion to this case in this case. I feel like this might be cliff-hung for Case 5. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. I don't know. Mr. Falls had a car then, or they'll probably come to a conclusion, of course, but it might be the wrong one. That bridge is way up in the mountains, man. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? There's a photo of the stolen car's trunk. I did the wrong voice. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Doesn't even look like the same person, for some reason. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. Alright, man. Kind of missed the other judge. The victim. Also, that looks like from Case 5 of the first game with the... Dustin Prince, right? Wasn't he in the trunk? She was stabbed in the back, correct? Was that him? Was that his name? I don't know. Maybe that was a different case. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. Do they? You mean, like, metaphorically? And yeah, she's a woman. Is she? You can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back, nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? A dead body. What is that on the handle of the trunk? It looks like there's like a deep scratch or something. I don't know. Press it. What did the defendant have to say about this photo? What he always says, ma'am. He didn't do it. Didn't do nothing. Yeah. Well, I mean, sorry, man. That's all he says. Nothing? I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. Indeed. How dare he? It's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says... that he lied. Yeah. But he didn't say that about the murder. Either one, right? He did steal the car, he did escape, all that shit. Seems he was caught and arrested.
Precisely.
Okay.
That certainly is some impressive police work.
Well, no, actually, it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 p.m. We figured that Mr. Falls might just try to run.
What do you mean it was too close for comfort? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m., and it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. That was kinda close. Any later and Mr. Falls could have slipped right by.
Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not.
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards.
The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those.
Okay. It's cool seeing her as... It's cool seeing him as Mia's... Mia. You know, he is to her as she is to Phoenix. That's nice. So the one that was added was the one about the photo. So I should present on that? Like, I feel like I want to present the photo and try and point something out about it, but I don't really know what yet other than what I pointed out, but that's probably nothing. It's barely even there on screen. We don't have much in here. Stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Well, if they met at 4:30, probably after 4:30. Maybe they met early, I don't know. 40 feet above the river. Just checking things out. The note again. I mean, yeah, there's the 4:30 part. White's. Hold on. Does she have a white scarf? Might be under the jacket, but her neck looks pretty bare. Oh shit.
Witness.
Yes? What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye?
I'm sorry. I totally forgot what I was going to say. No! This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that.
You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy?
No, thank you. Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real... What the fuck? Excuse me?
Come on, Mia. Shake it off. You're a lawyer. Was it like alcohol in the Japanese version and they changed it? There's no way that they would have him... I don't think so, but...
Yes, ma'am?
This photo. And I mean, if it was, why would they keep that line? That didn't make any sense. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it, is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
The note?
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten that the victim looked like. Thus, this special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am.
And you stopped there? You should have looked for it.
Lazy bastard. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
I see the defense is a little lacking. Excuse me. The scarf you are searching so desperately for, is it this one? That's not white. Also, why you hiding shit?
Where did you find that, sir?
Of course. Fucking, see again, this is why Godot's the best. He never did this shit. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation.
Why? Why didn't you tell me?
I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. Safest place I know.
Your satchel. Hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic.
It's not exactly white, as the caller has requested, but as you can see, it's close enough.
Oh. It's not white, but you know, it's a completely different color, so I guess that's close enough. What the hell? Looks like it spent some time in the mud. I mean, that's gotta be relevant. If it wasn't, they would just make it white. So, not surprising it was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time. What a troll. Court will accept the scarf and evidence. I'm getting like really weird audio readouts on Audacity that I've never seen before. Like weird things are happening. I hope the audio is okay. Anyway, now if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is alright with you, isn't it? Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Very good. Now, if you were done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively, and with hard evidence, that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh? Well, I'm not going to let genius win the day. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. His photo was accidentally taken by the witness. Okay. She's got the scarf on her there. And a hat. Shows her wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Down from behind? What, did she turn around from him in the first place? That must have been when the scarf fell off. Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up. It is about a 40 feet drop from the bridge up to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say that it was a well-intentioned third party. No, none of that. A potential witness, so why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. It's totally Dahlia. It has to be, because she's, like, evil and shit. And she was involved. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel her to testify. I'm not sure about how I feel about that. Alright. As you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. Would you stop that? Premature, man. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. Huh? What do you mean, huh? Do it now, Mia. Show him what you got. Let's cross-examine the fuck out of it. There's really no point in pressing this because they said they won't say who it is, but I'm pressing everything, just like I usually do, unless they tell me you gotta be careful what you press. I like to press everything. That's right, meaning she's female and a college student. It's totally Dahlia. Although, oh yeah, this was only not that long before case 1, which was Mia's second case, and I don't remember like what year of college they were in, so yeah. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements. That is all. What is that supposed to mean? The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. A female college student, eh? It means she's female and a college student, sir. If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why, so we can hear what happened. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. Accidentally taken. How does that even happen? The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright. So, about the witness who took this photo. What was this person doing all the way in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Fay. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Now that you mention it. This photo. This cloudy fog-like thing. Is it a ghost? What if it is? What cloudy fog-like thing? Like, just like in general? That'd be great if there was a ghost there and that was a twist. We do have spirit mediums involved. And I still think Morgan Fay has to come back sometime, too. That's got to be in Case 5. So I'm waiting on that. Drizzling, huh? That's right, there was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Haha. Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case. Wow, okay. Sorry, Gumshoe. The point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Well, good for you. See, from behind. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. I remember that happening once myself. It was really... What? What? Why did he say brutal like that? And what is he even talking about? Yeah, why did he What? I wonder if he's Canadian? Oh well, throw him in the fucking brig. That's the biggest crime of all. I don't allow Canadians in my courtroom. What? Do Canadians say brutal weird? Like, that's not even a different pronunciation, though. Brutal. Brutal. Like, how do they say it? What? You should have just had him say a boat. Or sorry. Or tomorrow. Fucking Canada. Weird-ass place. Don't understand it, man. Huh? Take a look. Poor baby, the court record seems to have wet itself. Okay. Watch where you spill your coffee. The court record, huh? Must have been when the scar fell off. So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's what the witness said. Well, looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. From what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. Was it a violent fight, or was it a shove from behind? The area was wet from rain, the bridge was probably wet too, and it's a very small, narrow bridge, which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud. But her clothes weren't. I was thinking that too. Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. So what do I do? You really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean. Of course I do. So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. If what you believe is the truth, then that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance. Alright, well, we'll go to the one about the thing. Yeah. And I'll present. I guess? Wait, which... No, that's... See, I could present that and say that they're not... She's facing him, but, you know, obviously she could have turned around. So I'm gonna say this one. Is that the right one? Yeah. Because she's not dirty. Even though her stomach... Because it doesn't say it right here, but I remember him specifically saying, oh, she fell down on her stomach. I kind of felt like that wasn't necessary to say, unless they were really trying to put emphasis on it. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog, too. Just a generally soggy atmosphere. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. Well, this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions of the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Yes. Indeed. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. I mean, just her clothes, they're not wet or muddy, it's just I'll just point right there. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there is nothing strange about it. That's the point. That's exactly what's strange. Remember the testimony? What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky Bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day, I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. Playoff beard? Why are you saying weird things? Fucking Canada, man.
Who knows what's going on up there? I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If Your Honor had fallen in the shower instead of on a muddy street, his glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet but not muddy. What are we talking about? Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day?